Hey there guys, and welcome back. Just wanted to make a quick video about basically like something that they never tell you in Gwent. A couple quick things. First one is one that I see a lot, is people asking why their Farseers aren't buffing. It's because the way that row priority works, and this matters in very few cases, usually only with Farseer, and they don't tell you about it, but the way effects trigger is that they'll trigger top row, middle row, and then bottom row first, and then they'll also trigger left to right. So let's see if we can pull this off. But if I play my Dragoon to the right of this Farseer, even though it's on the same row, this Farseer won't buff. But since it's above this Farseer, it will buff. And I want to give a big thanks to Genetic Mutation for the second set of clips, because he helped me out with showing something else that we'll get into in a second. But I'll play my Dragoon here. And the reason why this doesn't buff the first Farseer is because the Farseer is to the left of it. So the Farseer's effect triggers first, and then the Dragoon's effect triggers. So technically you didn't buff a card that turn. Since the Farseer checks to see if a card was buffed, it wasn't, okay, then it moves on to the Dragoon, it buffs a card, and then the second Farseer checks, oh okay, a card was buffed, I'll buff. So we play the Dragoon here, and only my bottom Farseer buffs up. So that's just a small thing. Well, the computer passed against me, but I'm still going to show you. I'll play the Dragoon over here now, and since it's to the left of it, it's going to buff before the Farseer effects triggers to check to see if there was a buffed card, and then it's going to buff. So this will buff both of them. So as you can see there, it kind of showed you in the animation. The Dragoon triggered, then the first Farseer triggered, then the second Dragoon triggered, then the second Farseer triggered. So that's the way that rows actually work in the game. The Farseers is pretty much the only thing that it matters with, because, yeah, like if you're playing against a movement deck or something and they move their Dragoon down here, your Dragoon down to the bottom row, it's going to be to the right of the Farseer, so the Farseer is not going to be buffing anymore. So you might be able to use that to your advantage some game, or know more what's going on and why your Farseers aren't buffing. But that's about it for that. And then the next thing is that on deploy abilities, as this game against Genetic Mutation, I was trying to test it, you can see that deploy abilities trigger first as long as they don't spawn a card. Like the deploy ability actually triggers before the card is placed on the board, because Hawker Smuggler here, doesn't matter what row I play Barclay on, if I play Barclay, then it does its damage before the Hawker Smuggler's effect triggers. So that's also important. But then if you play something like Ida, who spawns a card, she's placed on the board after she spawns a card, so the Hawker Smuggler will actually buff. So you just gotta be careful about that. If you're trying to like use an Ida and it's at 9 power to kill it, it won't work. But if you use something like a Cleaver and it's at 9 power, then the Cleaver will actually kill it. So that's about it for this one, and thanks again Genetic Mutation for helping me get those clips together. And yeah, hope this helps you guys somehow, or helps you better understand exactly what's going on with the board state and how effect abilities trigger. And I'll see you guys next time. Till then, have a good one.